You like trauma? Yeah, we like trauma. Oh, what's up, you beauties? It's time for episode 28. Yeah, oh my God, 28. Episode 28 of Classroom Horror Stories. I have a cold, which makes no sense because it's hotter than Satan's ass in New York. I don't understand how any part of my body could be cold. I've been getting like souffled by the sun for the past like 3 months. First, it's New York, which is literally like a cast iron skillet. Then I was in Cyprus for an entire month. And if you don't know where Cyprus is, look it up. It's pretty much right up on the Middle East. Then I was in San Francisco, which was beautiful, but still hot. And my body's like, you know what? How about a Christmas illness? How about like an early December problem? So if you hear me coughing or sniffling, mind your business. Even if I feel 2 massive stones in my throat every time that I swallow, the show must go on. Ask me. No, come here. Come here.
Ask me how many people sent in stories after episode 27.
Take a minute, think about it. What's a normal amount in your brain? I'll tell you mine, 0. That's a normal amount to me. You know how many I got? 386. I just got it 387. 387 different traumatic, deeply upsetting stories about the grim realities of the insane things that happen in schools these days. And it's not just in America. I think that we have this idea that American schools are like the epitome of problems. But I've read all of these, and it's not just America. A lot of Germany, a lot of Belgium, a lot of Spain, so many South Africa, and Australia. Oh my God. No. You think you're gonna go to Australia and have a problem with spiders? No. You're gonna have a problem with students because they are bonkers out of their mind crazy. And there's no crocodile hunter for that. That's my daily scream. I hope you all enjoyed that. You gotta get into this at some point. Before I forget about it, you've probably noticed over the last couple of episodes that my new editor, Caroline, say hi to the people. She loves to, what's the word? She loves to ruin my life in whatever way she can. And I had a meeting with her today, and it turns out that she needs another way to traumatize me. So, you know what? Let's see. Let's see if we can give her an outlet to traumatize me. I'm gonna let Caroline make a bet if this video, this episode 28, gets to 100,000 views. What am I gonna have to do if this episode gets to 100,000 views? Toss that in. Give me your worst. Jesus, I don't even know what she's gonna come up with, but I regret that already. Okay, well, no point in borrowing stress. Let's get right into it. We're gonna jump into episode 28. I have just the most demonic stories you've ever heard in your whole life. Let's do it.
This is why teachers should get paid $100,000 a month.
You are not getting a position at this school. Created a poop cannon. Oh my God. Oh, sweet Jesus. By a 5th grader with a pie. No, that's insane. But it gets worse. How? All right, we're getting right into them. This one is from someone named Dylan, and it's titled Fundraiser from Hell. Oh boy. What's up, Mr. J? My name is Dylan, and I was born and raised in Sydney, Australia. This is what I'm telling you. Crazy things happen in Australia. I'm trying to tell you all this. When I was in 5th grade, my school held a fundraiser where teachers got fun punishments in order to raise money from the school. They got the entire auditorium set up with a bunch of different stations where teachers were getting different punishments. The problem is that whoever set up these punishments did nothing in the way of safety precaution.
I'm so surprised.
Please tell me one of these teachers doesn't die. I'm begging you. Tell me one of these teachers doesn't die during this. Literally every single station had a horrific thing happen. Great. First we had Mr. Grant, who was at the pin the tail on the donkey station. Students got blindfolded and they tried to walk up to him and pin a tail on the cardboard that he had on his lower back. Oh my God. Oh, sweet Jesus. Mr. Grant got stabbed in the ass by a 5th grader. Poor Mr. Grant, you deserve so much better. If I got stabbed in the ass at school, I'd be quitting. That's enough for me. Somehow after that happened, the administrators decided not to end the fundraiser. No, I need one Final Destination style problem and we would be done here. The next was the pie in the face station.
I've done pie in the face station. I got whipped cream into my eye, and I was wearing contacts, and I got the most violent eye infection you have ever seen in your whole life. For like 2 weeks, I was like...
It was probably what I would imagine like a yeast infection of the eye to be like. Oh, that's a horrific thing to picture. I'm gonna try to erase that from my memory right now.
Lie to yourself. All your problems are fake. Nothing is real.
It didn't work. For just $1, it's a good deal. It's a really good deal. You could pie a teacher of your choice in the face. Miss Nelson decided that she wanted to be at the pie station. Ballsy. Ballsy choice, Miss Nelson. What Miss Nelson didn't know is that most of the school hated her because she was incredibly disrespectful to the students. That'll do it, Miss Nelson. That'll do it. Because of this, all the students put their money together and they hired the strongest kid they could find to pie Miss Nelson in the face. Oh, sweet Christ. After the first pie to the face, Miss Nelson suffered a cracked skull, broken nose, and was knocked unconscious? Okay. Question number 1. What are they feeding the kids in your elementary school? Because I don't think a 5th grader should be able to have this strength. Is this kid on steroids? Somehow the last station was worse. Okay, I've asked you this 25 times and I'm gonna ask you again. How does it keep getting worse? We have Mr. Grant, who got stabbed in the ass. We have Miss Nelson, who got her skull cracked open by a 5th grader with a pie, but it gets worse. How? Let's find out. The school set up a dunk tank for one teacher to go into. Our vice principal at the time, whose name was Mr. Danielson, but we all called him SpongeBob because he reminded us of SpongeBob.
I have been called SpongeBob before. I got told that if there's ever like one of those live action SpongeBobs that I should apply for because I might get it.
And that has stuck with me until very recently, but this has naturally brought that back up. What we didn't know about Mr. Danielson is that he couldn't swim. Okay, why was he chosen for the dunk tank? He didn't expect the first kid to hit a bullseye and put him into the dunk tank. Because the dunk tank was 8 feet deep and he was 5 feet tall, that's its own struggle. You can't be called SpongeBob and be 5 feet tall. That's a tough one. The entire school watched for 3 whole minutes as Mr. Danielson basically drowned in front of all of us. What? That's horrific. I feel like the school needs to close down after one of these things happen. Ass stabbing? Closed. Cracked skull from a pie? Closed. Drowning? Publicly? In front of the entire elementary school? Closed. The principal had to pull his lifeless body out of the dunk tank, and we watched SpongeBob vomit up probably a gallon of water. Oh boy, that's a tough Monday coming up after that. Please come to Australia, you chunky orange protector of the trees. Okay, listen, Dylan, no one asked you what you think I look like. A lot of people did ask for that, but no, that's bonkers.
I'm you.
You?
I'm dressed as you.
Well, why would you be dressed as me?
Because you're 100 years old.
Okay, round 2. This one is from Jennifer. This one's called New Teacher Observation.
I swear to God, if this is traumatic enough to like jog memories of observations, we're gonna have a problem and I'm gonna have to talk to you guys personally.
Jennifer says, this is a PTSD experience for a new teacher for sure. Here we go. 1 month into my first year as a classroom teacher, I had a scheduled observation from my mentor. At the time, I was an 8th grade ELA/reading teacher in Central Texas. Not my ideal grade level, but it is what it is. I like the way that you're looking at this, and I can already tell that it did not help in your favor. I had what I thought an awesome lesson on Edgar Allan Poe.
I love Edgar Allan Poe.
Telltale Heart. If you haven't read Telltale Heart, I want you to read it and I want you to look up the YouTube video, this like voiceover of it, of this creepy old dude, and he reads it and it's so sketchy. And if you read it during like Halloween time in your class, it's crazy. Read it with like upper elementary school or older because it is kind of insane. It's about like murder and all this. Try it out. An awesome lesson on Edgar Allan Poe and an introduction to his short stories. I had just finished giving background on Poe and introducing the Cask of Amontillado. Love it. When one of my students, unfortunately at the very front of the class, let out a blood-curdling scream and fell out of his seat. What? He began thrashing around on the floor and ended up ripping his shirt off before I could get to him. Is he possessed by a demon? Is that what's going on right now? He jumped up, pointed at the young man behind him, and screamed, "I'm going to on a live view. He jumped across the desk onto him. They started kicking and hitting each other as my mentor and I tried to get them apart. The person doing the observation had to rip a child off of another kid. Another student ran across the hall and had the teacher call for admin and security. By the time they got there, we got them apart and had one out in the hall and the other one in the classroom. I had the young man who had the fit with me in the hall, along with his shirt. When I asked him what happened, he told me to shake his shirt out. I screamed as 6 live, huge cockroaches fell out of his shirt and scurried across the floor. Nope.
I don't think I'm getting enough appreciation for how crazy I'm not acting. How crazy I'm not acting. You're welcome. I'm doing a really good job.
This is my feel-good hat. And after that story, I needed to feel good. So I'm gonna finish the story with my feel-good hat on and no one's gonna say a word. This is why teachers should get paid $100,000 a month.
If you have to give money to women.
Laughter erupted from a few students, including the culprit inside my room. The principal was with me and he stormed into my classroom and grabbed a kid. Whoa. The principal grabbed a kid and dragged him off to the office. The nurse collected the cockroaches for the resource officer and then took my other student off to her office. Can we discuss how interesting it is that in all of the situations that a nurse is qualified to help out with, when a kid gets 6 cockroaches put into his shirt, who gets called to clean it up? The nurse? The nurse? I'm surprised she didn't throw an ice pack at him.
I will never say sorry.
After all of this, my mentor wrote in her observation that I should have handled the situation better and have been able to predict that this would have happened. Are you kidding me?
No.
No, this mentor should not be allowed to do observations in any classroom in America. That's insane. How do you prepare for 6 live cockroaches to be put in a kid's shirt? He goes all Iron Man, all Hulk, and then loses his mind. No, that's insane. Of course, admin and resource officers did not agree with her and backed me on how I handled breaking the fight up and separating the students. No teachers taught to handle that situation.
That's what happens when
None
you
of
don't
them.
trust Jesus.
There is no part of the curriculum where it says how to handle a fight that happened because a kid got cockroaches put in his shirt. No. To this day, I cannot handle the sight of roaches. I'm also very empathetic towards new teachers, as you should be. New teachers, you gotta understand that observations will never go the way that you want them to, but they'll probably never be that bad. That is one of the most horrific things I've ever read in my whole life. God bless you for being able to handle that. God bless you for staying in the profession after that. That's insane. Okay, next.
You should rename this place a Buffet Elementary.
That's not our name. We're named after a historical racist.
Congratulations.
Lie to yourself, put yourself in debt, do whatever you need to do to be happy. It'll all come out in the wash. That's number 1.
I can do this. I can do this. All I need to do is reach a level of zen where I don't think that these stories are actually true. If I pretend that the stories aren't true, then they don't have to haunt me at night. I don't think having ADHD allows you to hit a point of zen, but I tried. I tried my best. Okay. Here we go. This one's called My First Substitute Experience. Hello, Mr. J. My name is Abigail, and I'm currently in my 25th year of teaching in England. Mr. Worldwide. Me. It's me. Mr. Worldwide. Before I started being a lead teacher, I took a job as a substitute. I was called in to cover a class for a teacher who had just started their maternity leave and they needed 1 substitute for a day before a long-term substitute came in. This school was known for giving substitutes very high-paying long-term contracts, which can help teachers earn a lot of money while they find a full-time position. That's so true. You get paid like $250 a day as a substitute. So if you can get $250 a day times 5 days,
That's like $1 million.
School day went fine for the first half of the day. That is until we got to recess. It's always recess. Something bad has to happen at recess. Our recess yard surrounds the bottom part of the school and is basically a giant U shape. I can understand that. Because of this, it's really hard to see all the students at once. As the 30-minute recess period went on, I noticed more and more kids were not in the corner of the recess yard where I was. I decided to take a walk around the recess yard to make sure that everybody was okay. And when I made my way around the yard, I started to hear a buzzing sound. It almost sounded like a beehive. No, I'm getting throwbacks to My Girl. I don't want throwbacks to My Girl. I mentioned that movie a couple episodes ago and people had emotional responses. Well, I have good news and bad news. news. The good news is that it was not a beehive. The bad news is that it was the sound of an electric razor. And in the corner of the recess yard, I saw 26 completely bald first graders. So I don't want to be like a spoiler or anything, but you are not getting a position at this school. Not a snowball's chance in hell that you're getting a position at this school. And it's not your fault. It's not fully your fault. It's mostly the kid's fault. According to the student, today was show and tell. We never planned any show and tell. But his father was a barber and he wanted to show what his father did. Oh God, that's adorable. Adorable, but a problem. I hope you enjoyed this story. Keep hitting on Martha Mayhew and bullying the Grinch. Is that that's a deep cut. Abigail, I'm not the mayor from Whoville. You're the mayor from Whoville. You guys are mean.
It's a tradition. My students have been doing this since when I first started teaching.
Yeah, but that was like 1,000 years ago.
All right, we got the last one for this episode. I'm worried. This one is called Music School Drama. Okay. Great. Love it. Like American Pie. I'm all for it. Dear Mr. J, I have a story that I think can top all of the other stories that you've read. An ambitious statement. My name is Elliot, and I went to a school for the musically gifted in San Diego, California. Great. Love it. Fantastic. I was a percussion major and spent the entire 4 years at this high school. What a lot of people don't know about music schools is that it's incredibly competitive because for each instrument, there are hundreds of kids who want to be the best in the class. I was friends with a lot of kids from a bunch of different instruments, but my best friend was one of the tuba players. There was a kid in the tuba program who was the worst kind of person. Aside from being physically violent on a couple of occasions, this kid was constantly making fun of the people around him, telling them that they're not talented and doing whatever he needed to do to excel. To make a long story short, the other kids in the tuba program decided that they needed to get back at him. They had an upcoming tryout for a tuba spot in a jazz ensemble at the school. Oh, Christ. Oh, I shouldn't have read ahead. But boy, I did. I did read ahead. A bunch of kids from the tuba program collected their poop for over 2 weeks. And they filled his instrument with that poop. Their goal was to just make the tuba unplayable, but what happened was so much worse. How?
Do you know the Muffin Man?
How? Apparently, when the kid was auditioning, the head of the tuba was aimed in the direction of the judges, and when he started playing, he launched 2 weeks of poop all over the 5 judges. I think this is a good time for a brief intermission here. I gotta get something. No, this is not good. Not a poop cannon. You created a poop cannon. Why? Why would you create a poop cannon? Somehow no one in the school believed the kid when he said that it wasn't his fault and that he was being set up by other students.
I'm being accused of doing something I did not do.
Instead, he was kicked out of the school and we never saw him again. Personally, I think he deserved it. Please put this in episode 28. I'm obsessed with this series. This series is gonna give me like kidney stones. This is horrific. Absolutely horrific. You might have just incriminated yourself because this is going in episode 28 without a doubt in my mind. And if you or your friends go to jail, you made a poop cannon. What am I going to say to that? This episode was brought to you by sadness and stress and anxiety. Every episode kind of supplies the stress and sadness and anxiety for the next. I can't believe how many of you guys just rally around this series, commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing, putting on the little alarm thing. I don't get it. You guys are a different breed. I don't understand it, but you're here. You could be anywhere and you chose here, and that is pretty friggin' incredible, and I love you for it. If you want episode 29, oh Christ. If you want episode 29, put in the comments. Tell me where you're watching this from. I want to see where you're watching it from. And I want to do this thing where I take a subscriber and randomly shout them out. So everybody go subscribe and say hi to this person. Yeah, no, we'll jump back and do an episode 29. I'll see you guys very soon. Doses.